Hello and welcome to the Main Street Mouse Weekly Podcast, where we will discuss Disney news, adventures in Florida living, pop culture, and more.
For your safety, remain seated with the doors closed, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside while the tram is moving. And supervise your children.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
So we're in the tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Dead men tell no tale.
I know not who you are, nor how I came to find you, but may I just say,
Come on, everybody, here we go!
Hello, all. I'm Scott Atwood.
And I'm Michele Atwood, and we are the owners of the Main Street Mouse.
And this is show number 140 for April 8th, 2024 of the Main Street Mouse Weekly Podcast.
So happy Monday, everyone. And today was actually a special Monday because it was the big day for the solar eclipse.
Not to be confused with sunny eclipse from Cosmic Rays at the Magic Kingdom.
No, not the same thing. Not the same thing at all. Actually, you can see sunny eclipse all the time. You're not going to be able to see this type of eclipse for like 20 years.
And you don't need glasses to see sunny eclipse. You might want headphones or something to muffle your ears. But you don't need the glasses to see him.
No, you really don't. So actually, it's a better deal over at Magic Kingdom.
But you love sunny eclipse.
I don't.
Him and Figment are your favorites.
Not really. And people that are new to our podcast, I liked Sunny Eclipse until we moved here, and then we got stuck sitting in Cosmic Rays, and we were like taking forever to get our food and all that, and we just heard him sing the same songs over and over and over, and I felt like we always sat by him when we went to Cosmic Rays, and I just got really tired of his songs. He needs a new set.
Yeah, I think it's been the same set for many years, so they kind of do need to do an update of Sunny Eclipse's music styling there. Because when we first moved here, we ate at Cosmic Rays all the time because I think it was the cheapest place to eat at Magic Kingdom.
At the time.
You got the most food because you could go up to the Fixings bar at the time.
Which is no longer
there. And we were really poor when we moved here. So we had to do everything the cheapest way possible. Luckily, the boys were both eating kids' meals still at the time.
I still eat them sometimes.
You do sometimes.
Okay, anyway, back to the eclipse. Okay, so depending where you live today, depends on how much of the eclipse you got to see or how much the moon had covered. So here in Central Florida, we got a 58% eclipse, basically. Okay. So it kind of looked like a crescent moon from where we were at. And we had a hard time finding eclipse glasses because our younger son really loves all this stuff. And he decided this morning that he really wants to see this and wanted glasses. So I had to go all over the place to try to find it. And actually one of his friends had extra. So it worked out.
And then nothing like waiting at the last minute and then driving to multiple stores that are supposed to have them in stock, but they were all sold out.
So
I wonder, I don't remember, I don't know, maybe they used to just give away stuff like that when we were kids. Now they charge for everything. So.
Yeah, I don't know, but it ended up working out. But then, so we started watching about 2:30. Our peak time was supposed to be 3:03.
Okay.
Aiden went back in the house and made chicken nuggets. It came back out.
Well, if you don't have chicken nuggets in an eclipse, it's not like, it's almost like going to Cosmic Rays though.
Right, you need chicken. No Fixins bar outside.
No Fixins bar.
So we ended up watching. We thought it was really, really cool. And then once 3:03 hit, I'd say by 3:06-ish, Aiden was like, "Okay, well, I'm really satisfied. I got to see that," and he wanted to go back in the house. I'm like, really? After all of that, huh?
It's like Christmas. You put in all this preparation and everything, and then the moment finally gets there, and 6 minutes later, it's over.
Yeah, and when we were out there, so I opened my phone, and the news stations had on live feeds from NASA.
Oh, okay.
And they were, I think it was in Arkansas, the first one we had seen, but it showed a complete total eclipse to where you could see like a little bit of the orange like on the side, and they were waiting like it's going, and poof, black.
Gone.
It was the coolest thing. I wish we would have got to see that here. Like it didn't get dark. I mean, it was neat to see, but yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of like when I walk in front of you and they see you until I get all the way in front of you, and then I completely block you, and poof, you're gone. Until I keep moving, and then you reappear.
Here I am. No glasses needed.
So I'm Scott Eclipse.
Okay, well, we'll move on from the eclipse since it's over. Let's go start everything off with
Adventures in Florida Living.
Yes, which means basically, what have we been up to for the past week?
What have we been up to, Michele?
We've been up to some stuff, I guess.
We got good stuff.
We got some stuff. So let's see. What did we do?
So usually our Mondays are recording for this show. Tuesdays is when we record the live podcast show. And we, Greg and Holly come over and we always sit and chit chat and talk for a while and just talk about things we're going to work on together. And then Wednesdays, I don't even know if we did anything.
Did we leave the house on Wednesday? I want to say we went somewhere.
I don't remember if we did or not, to be honest with you. Didn't we go to Epcot one day last week?
Yeah.
I thought we did.
We did.
Maybe that was Wednesday.
I think maybe that was
Because you need to get off the couch for a little while.
Or Tuesday.
It was one of those days.
One of those days. So we did go to Epcot last week. And we didn't really see anything new, per se.
They had a new Pixar Pizza Planet jersey, which I really liked.
You were going merchandise?
And then they had the new Mickey Lily Pulitzer prints were all, 40%?
40% off.
In addition to your annual, and after the 40, then you get another 20 if you're an annual pass holder off of there.
Right. So I mean, I need to go open another credit card and buy one everything. Yeah, that was a good deal. But yeah, we walked around and we saw the topiaries again and just kind of looped. Sometimes it's just good to get out of the house and walk.
I don't even know we just kind of ate at the walk-ups. I know we went to Germany. I had the pretzel with the cheese, and you tried a piece of the pretzel.
Yeah, I won't eat the ham though.
Without the ham, but you said the pretzel was really good.
The pretzel was fantastic, just no ham.
No ham. And then we ended up in Japan, and you had just gotten rice
vegetables and rice. Yeah, I mean, I just sometimes I don't know what to get. Again, you guys, I mean, you've been listening to us for like 6 years now. I'm a picky eater. It's so hard sometimes when we go to Disney for me to find something to eat. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have broccoli and white rice. That's safe.
Well, I had a ham and pretzel with cheese all over it.
Ooh.
But then I stopped at the new ice cream booth.
Oh, yeah.
And and they had peanut butter and then they had grape jelly and you could swirl them together.
So it was a peanut butter and jelly soft serve cone.
It was. Not as good as I had hoped. Peanut butter wasn't bad, but the jelly, I don't know, there's something about it.
Yeah, I know. We got one and we split it, and it was. You know what? I actually liked the peanut butter. I think I could have done without the jelly.
Yeah, you could just get just the peanut butter. I figured it's peanut butter jelly time.
Well, yeah, it was peanut butter and jelly time, and it was okay. The first bite, I was like, ugh, and then by the time it got better as you went.
Yeah,
I mean, you know how sometimes. Like, do you ever have do you ever have something that, I'm trying to think because it happens to me a lot. Maybe I'm just weird, but I'll take a bite of something, try something new, and I don't really know if I like this or not, but I have a feeling I'm going to get it again.
Okay.
I have those sometimes. You know what does that to me? The chicken tender subs, the pub subs at Publix, I don't know why I get the chicken tender wrap
every time
because I don't even like it.
And every time you get it, you're like, A, it's too much because you don't eat that much, and B, you always say I'm not really a fan of it. Yet you'll sit there and say, you know what sounds good? A chicken tender pub sub wrap.
I don't like it.
And I'll order it and go get it.
And I give half the chicken to the dogs.
And you give half the chicken to the dogs, and then you sit there and pick at the other half of it.
I pick at all my food in fairness, though.
That's true. And you give it all to the dogs as well.
That's how I keep all my weight loss off. I share with my dogs.
So, but last week, Epcot was still busy on Wednesday.
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, the past week was the final grouping of spring breakers, right. And it was a madhouse here. I mean, everywhere. Traffic was bad. Yeah. Restaurants were bad. The parks were bad. At one point, Magic Kingdom had an alert pop up. There was no park hopping.
Which is crazy to think that we could hit that now. I mean, because you don't usually hit no park hopping and any type of capacity limits in the summertime. Usually it's at Christmas.
Yeah, usually it's Christmas time, like between Christmas and New Year's, you get that. But I don't even think we had that pop up this year. I don't know if it's because people, just ready for a break. I mean, obviously spring break. but
well, I know spring break is now over. Well, at least the bulk of it is over.
Thank God.
So it should be quiet for about a week or two here. I mean, I'm sure it's going to pick up again. That's all. Now, it used to be when we moved here, there was certain times a year where it was just a lot less people. I mean, it was usually when school started back in the north in September.
Yes.
Was great at the parks because there was nobody there. You could walk on every ride.
Like early September was easy peasy going to the parks.
Not anymore.
There's
really not really a slow time. They're slower, but not slow.
No, and you know what's interesting is that, you know, I used to get the question all the time from our followers, you know, if I can recommend, you know, what's the best time to go? What's the slowest time to go?
Right.
And I always used to recommend like January, February, or early fall.
Right.
That doesn't really apply anymore. It's busy all the time.
It is. When we lived in Michigan still, our time to come here was August. Usually
last week of August around Labor Day, because the kids didn't go back to school till after Labor Day.
And they had the best deals.
They did have the best deals. God, that was when Disney was cheap, remember?
Oh my gosh. So I remember I think it was 2009 when we came here from Michigan. The four of us came down. We had paid our vacation off in advance before we even got it. It was like $1,300 for a week. And I think it was Pop, or it was one of the value resorts.
I think it was Pop.
Was it Pop? That was including like our park tickets, and the hotel for a week was like $1,300 for a family of four, which was crazy. But the best part of that was at the time is I had gotten an email that said from Disney said, we want to upgrade you. And you can stay at either Saratoga or Old Key West. So I got this email and I called Michele at work. I'm like, hey, I got this email and Disney wants to, and her first words, what's the catch?
Well, yeah, because Disney, I didn't think they did that, but I'm sure you guys have heard this story before. We've mentioned it a few times, but for you new people, that was like the best because we got an upgrade and they upgraded us to free dining.
Yes.
So we ate a ton and we got to stay in a better resort, and it was just really, really nice. I don't know if those kind of things happen anymore.
I don't think they do, because I hear people talk about like when they get there and they don't even have a room available. I remember RJ last year, they arrived and they didn't even have a room for them.
Oh, that's right. It was a friend of ours.
They didn't have a place to put them.
No.
I remember he said it was like really late in the middle of the night before they finally got into a room. So it's like maybe those things just don't happen. I don't know. But anyway, so that was Wednesday we were talking about at Epcot. Thursday, CityWorks at Disney Springs had invited us out for a food review, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, I still have to rate that, by the way. I did put it on my Instagram stories. So we've worked with CityWorks in the past. We've done our live shows from CityWorks in the past, and they've
always been great.
Yes, they've always been very accommodating, very nice. So one of the PR firms had reached out a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago, and asked if we would come out and, you know, have dinner and do some promotion for them. And that's exactly what we did. And it was like I had this peach type of drink, which was really good.
Right.
I can't remember the name of it, but it was good. And then we had, you got
to tell about your appetizer.
All right. So we got to choose two appetizers. So you chose the barbecue chicken flatbread.
Yep.
And I got the fried pickles.
Yes.
Now, fried pickles used to be one of those things I don't know if I like this, but I'm going to order it.
Right. And you didn't like it at first. But you always said, but you want to like it. It was kind of like buffalo chicken for you too. You want to like it, but you having a hard time.
And when I was growing up, it was spinach dip. Like my whole family had spinach dip at gatherings with like on those little pieces of bread, little tiny breads.
Like the Melba toast almost.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't get it why you guys all love this. And I would.
Now you love it.
Now I like it because I would force myself. But anyway, back to the pickles. So I told the server that these were hands down the best fried pickles I have ever had.
They really were.
The batter on them was really good. The ranch that you dip it in is a really good ranch. Right. The only thing is that because they use heavy batter on things, so things are a bit greasy.
Right.
But they're so good.
They were very good, actually.
They're not healthy pickles by far.
Not at all. But they're not the really thin cuts of pickles. They're pretty good size, so you get a good flavor of pickle with the batter and the ranch. So if you're ever at CityWorks, highly recommend ordering the appetizer of the pickles. And even the manager came over, and Michele told him also that the pickles were amazing. And he said he's seen people order 3 and 4 orders of them. Because he said it's one of their most popular.
Yeah, it's one of their most popular, and it deserves it too. Because I've had many a fried pickle in my time.
She's a fried pickle connoisseur.
Only because you always get it. You're the adventurous one, and I'm always like, oh, I'll just get something boring, like, cheese.
I'll have the cheese sticks because I know I like cheese.
But yeah, so CityWorks, fried pickles, fantastic.
Very
and then
good.
what did you have for your...
So my main meal was... every time I've been there, I've always gotten the Nashville hot chicken wrap, which is very hot, very good, but it's one of those sandwiches that once you start eating it, don't stop, because as soon as you stop, all the heat takes over your mouth and you really can't enjoy anything
that's
else.
so enjoyable.
But it tastes so good on the way down. So I didn't get that this time. I got the scorpion burger, which the waiter assured me, he goes, it's not quite as hot as the Nashville hot, but it's got some kick to it. I think it had jalapeno jack cheese on it. It had jalapenos on it.
No, it was the higher one. The cheese wasn't jalapeno. It was a higher
was
one.
Was it habanero? No.
Habanero,
was it habanero
jack, I want to say.
I don't know. It was good. That's all I'll say. It was very good, but again, it was one of those things that as soon as I stopped eating, I had my mouth caught up with me.
His face was red, you guys. It was like he looked like he was like breaking out in a sweat. I'm like, is that really enjoyable for you?
It was, and it came with their olive oil parsley fries. I think is what it was.
Something like that.
Which they're really good.
Oh my gosh! Again, like I could go there and eat a basket of fries and a basket of fried pickles, and I would be good to go.
And a peach drink.
And a peach drink, whatever the heck it was. And also, I got the barbecue chicken chopped salad.
Which looked really good.
With that same ranch. Mm-hmm. And it comes with a couple onion rings on the top. So again, just like with the fried pickles, the salad is not healthy either.
No. And most salads aren't, especially a chopped one where they've already mixed everything together, because usually the dressing is really heavy in a chopped salad.
Yeah, but it was good.
It looked good. I should have tried it. I never did.
My only regret, since we were already eating horribly, was I wish I would have got like key lime pie or something, but I didn't.
Oh, you should have got that for dessert.
I should have. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
not like I needed it.
They only had like 3 different desserts on the menu, but I know that was one of the ones.
One had chocolate in it, I know.
One was peanut butter something also.
Yeah, they have 3 desserts on the menu. But anyway, so in a lot of their stuff is like smoky barbecue stuff there. So if you like the smoky tasting, type of food, it is definitely for you.
Yeah. And that's what the flatbread was. The barbecue sauce chicken flatbread. It was a smoky flavor, but it was really a sweet sauce.
See, I thought it was really smoky.
Did you? Yeah, I thought it was
I'm really sensitive to that, though. I'm such a picky eater. So it's really, so if I tell you something tastes good, it must, because I don't just say that.
Except spinach artichoke dip.
I like spinach artichoke dip. So yeah, and it's true. If I give something a good food,
you want to repeat that?
A food review, then I mean it's pretty legit, because I don't like anything.
As Corey would say, it's legit.
It's legit. Corey's from Alabama, by the way, and that's how he talks.
That's true. But yeah, it's very. If you don't like something, you'll be like, oh yeah, it was just good. And that's kind of all you'll say. It was all right. Or if you're talking to like the manager or the waiter, did you enjoy everything? Oh, it was good. But you don't really go into detail about why it was good. The pickles, though, you were over the top.
Because it was really good. And you know what? I really feel like giving people credit where credit is due on a lot of things. And granted, it's just pickles. I know. However, sometimes, I just feel like if something's good, tell them people. But I like to give compliments too, if it's deserved.
All I know is when the show is over, we're going to CityWorks to get some more fried pickles.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, enough about that. Did we talk about food enough?
Almost. So that was Thursday. Friday, we had a very early morning media event at Hollywood Studios for the new segments that were added to Star Tours. The adventure continues. I
don't know.
Something like that.
Star Wars something or other.
Yeah, Star Tours, The Adventure Continues, I believe is what it was. So they added a couple new scenes to the
we just saw the
video.
One.
Yes.
It, not to give spoilers away, but it does have the Mandalorian and Grogu, a.k.a. the baby.
And she loves the baby.
I love the baby. So cute.
And then there was another scene where we had Ahsoka.
Yeah, up in the corner, like at one of the, does like the pilot thing where, talking to...
we were helping her with the battle that she was doing. Allegedly. Yes. We were helping. And our C-3PO was flying our ship.
Okay, here's the thing. Let's get real for a sec. All right, so I loved the additions. I thought it was great. Oh, there was those big floaty whales too.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know the names of things. I just go by description. Yeah, floaty whales,
Space whales.
baby. Yeah.
Space whales with the baby Yoda. That all makes
It's
perfect
the
sense.
baby. All right, so we sat in the back row. Now it was all media in there.
Yeah.
All right, and we sat in the back, and we don't usually go on Star Tours because of motion, or because it's bumpy.
Yes.
And I haven't been on it in so long, I forgot how much so. So I was able to watch. I mean, I felt a little woozy, but I was able to watch for the most part. But was it later that night? We're at home and we're getting ready to go to bed, and I said to you, I feel like I fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
My whole body hurts, my back hurts, and I didn't do anything. And we're looking at each other and we're like, was it from Star Tours?
Well, yeah, because you sit there and you don't actually do. I mean, it's not like a roller coaster; it's a motion simulator. So
But
it's
it
moving you all
rocks.
around and rocking you from side to side in your seat, back and forth.
I got bumped out of my seat the one time, and yeah, you have a seatbelt on, but I kind of bumped up and over to the side and hit my leg. I'm like, ow.
And you were against the door.
And I was holding on for dear life, trying to balance myself so that I would stop bouncing in the seat.
Is that why you're begging Grogu to help you? Grogu, help
me
with the force.
No, and yeah, our friend Dwayne from the Orlando Sentinel was
Yes.
sitting in front of us, and he got off of it, and he just looked at me and he laughed. He's like, "Whoa, yeah, it's rough." But if you're a child, if you are younger, I know the boys used to love it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those of us who have back problems,
They'll be worse when you get off.
my back still hurts.
Well, and in all fairness, that wasn't the only ride we rode that day. We did go on Rise because they had given us a lightning lane for Rise of the Resistance, which
They
that
did.
one doesn't bother you really.
No,
one's
that
pretty
doesn't bother
smooth.
me. It's smooth.
But then we went to Toy Story Land and rode Toy Story Mania. Or,
No, Slinky Dog.
Slinky Dog.
But
that one kind of, I don't know why, I don't know if it's the little hills or the way it moves. That one always bothers me.
But you know what? It could have bothered you more, being that we just got banged around on Star Tours.
Could be. That very well could be. Yeah.
It's so funny because as you get older, like stuff you thought was really cool, it hurts now.
There's rides I haven't rode in years at Walt Disney World just because the last time I rode it or times up till that I just wasn't feeling good after
I know, and usually I make fun of you for that.
You did, but now it's starting to catch up with you.
No, I mean, I'll go on a coaster. Like I've said many a times on this show, I usually will take one for the team. If the boys want a parent to go with them, it's always me.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like what I do? I just take Dramamine. And oh my gosh, I just realized something. I did take motion pills that
Did you
morning,
really?
and I still felt like garbage.
Oh, wow.
Holy crap!
So that
Maybe I
didn't
need to
work.
take two.
Now you got two. The only one that really bothers me still at Disney is Everest. Going backwards. I'm fine until we go backwards. And then it bothers me.
Yeah, I like that ride. And backwards does feel a little yucky now. I just really think that I'm gonna have to keep like Bonine or Dramamine in my purse all the time. So when we go to a theme park, like I have it.
Or we just put it in the car so it's always there.
Yeah, no, he said yesterday. He's like, we should just keep it in the car because it's just, I don't know. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
No, I understand. And if it's there, you'll take it. But
Yeah,
I
you
wonder
don't.
I've never seen them sell that at Disney. They sell everything. They sell like
You
aspirin,
would think.
Tylenol, but I've never seen. I mean, it might be there. I've
Oh,
just
you know
never seen
what? You know what I bet? I bet you if you go to First Aid, they might have it.
it. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Because usually, they give out free Band-Aids
They
or
do on the ships.
Tylenol or whatever else. And I would guess, but I can't say for sure because we've never asked.
No, now I'm curious.
I
I may
know.
have to stop by there now. But I remember when we were on with the cruise ships, they had all the motion sickness.
Well, cruise ship
outside
is
the door.
different because of the motion
Yeah. And
of
they
the
don't want to
ship.
clean all that up.
Ugh, no.
Exactly.
No. Mm-mm.
So, and then, so then Saturday arose, and we were planning to have our friends Greg and Holly over and Chuck and Karen to watch the first night of Wrestlemania.
But earlier in that day,
Earlier in the day, what did we do on Saturday?
we went to the spring
That's right,
fair in
the
our
spring
town.
festival, the spring farmers market / floral market,
Something or other.
something like
But
that.
yeah, so where we live, there's a farmer's market every Saturday morning till 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And then every spring they have like a supersized version, I guess you could say.
It's like 3 times the size it normally is.
Yeah, and that's like Saturday and Sunday, but they have it's like their spring planting event. They have a lot of plants.
A lot of
plants. They had the Chick-fil-A cow.
I saw a couple of them actually. They had like 3 or 4 of them walking around.
Cows?
Yeah, I got pictures of all of them.
Did you really?
And there's one that had like one of those dunce hats with the little propeller on his head.
Well, that's not a dunce hat.
Whatever. It's a little propeller hat. But he looked like he was in trouble because he had like a different shirt on and he was like in the back.
He was the bad cow?
He was the bad cow. But it was fun. We walked around there.
Did we eat?
We did.
Oh, yeah, we
did.
did. The sandwich place.
Yeah. Was that Sammy's?
Yeah.
Which is really good.
There's a lot of outdoor seating there too, so it's kind of nice to go walk around. We took the kids, and Aiden had a friend with him, and they walked around, and it was just kind of nice to be outside in the fresh air. And
it was really nice.
It was really nice that day. I really enjoy doing that. It's kind of a nice break from all the craziness of the theme parks and all that.
And you bought some flowers or some plants.
Okay, so I bought plants because it was a good deal. Now I'm a sucker for a good deal.
Regardless if they'll stay alive or not, that's a good deal.
It was a really good deal.
It was a good deal.
Well, shoot, I just realized I did not buy pots today.
And you haven't watered them, have you?
No.
So the plants will be dead by Tuesday, which is tomorrow.
No, actually, I did check one of the pots today to see if the soil was still a little bit wet, and it is. Okay. But yeah, so I bought a few things of plants. I just have to buy something to put them in. But yeah, it was just kind of nice to be out and about. And I think about like perspective, I guess you could say, because like they're doing their spring plant festival here, but in Michigan, that's a no-go until like mid-May.
Oh, yeah. They're still looking at snow removal.
No, I mean, but their weather is kind of up and down. But I was just thinking about that. Like my mom would enjoy something like that, but not in early April.
Because in Michigan, isn't it Mother's Day is always the weekend?
Okay, so that's what it used to be, Mother's Day. But then the weather started getting wonkier and wonkier, and then now it's more like, I don't know how many times my mom and I went by bought plants, and then like 2 days later they'd be like, "Oh, frost advisory.
Bring them in."
Yeah, or cover your plants, and then, like half of them would die. But yeah, so anyway, flowers, April, lovely in Florida.
Yes, it was nice, and the whole event. There's a lot of people there. It was a huge event.
A lot
of dogs, which Michele always wants to take the dogs, which they won't behave.
Our dogs don't behave, so I can't.
No, they will not behave. They'll bark at everything and everybody, and they'll just be miserable. So,
I mean, even if we put Ava in a stroller, I mean, she might be all right, but Jack would not be having it.
No, he would not. He would want nothing to do with all that. He'd be like, "Why did you bring me here? I could have stayed home. I could have had a treat and sat on my blanket."
That's
but
right.
no, he brought me here. So as I had mentioned, though, in the evening time, Greg, Holly, Chuck, and Karen were coming over to watch the first night of Wrestlemania.
Right.
Which Greg kind of says our house has the bigger TV, so that's why he wanted to do it.
We get nominated for said wrestling events. Now, for me, like I haven't watched wrestling in forever, and so they came over here to watch the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
And that was kind of fun.
It was.
And then, like, you kind of get into it watching it again. But and it was fun. We had a good time. The snacks were good. Company was good. It was nice. But here's my caveat, as Greg would say.
Okay.
It's scripted. It is scripted.
Shh. There's people listening who might not know that.
No, I just have a hard time, like, okay, so like somebody wins and they're all happy and they're cheering and oh my gosh, the best thing. Like, dude, you knew you were going to win when you went out there.
Okay, but is that any different than a movie? When you're hoping for the person or the couple to get together finally at the end or something like that. It's all scripted.
Okay, so then everybody being happy for said person who wins the match and they're all like overjoyed, are they acting too?
I don't think so. I think some of them are genuinely happy because to win, that means the company is recognizing you that you are a top draw talent. It's
your turn to win.
It's your turn to win because you're bringing in the attendance that they need to help sell the whole thing, to make the money that they need to do it. So a lot of that is based on how much the crowd reacts to a different person.
I guess so. But if we want to bring a Disney twist back to it, The Rock was part of WrestleMania this time.
He was.
Except he was a bad guy.
He was a bad guy. He's the final boss is what he was going by.
Oh, for God's sake. So does that mean he's coming back, or is it final?
Well, I think he'll be back. If you watched Night 2 on Sunday, you got to see some really good. That was actually, Night 2 looked better than Night 1.
And we only watched the last match because I was watching 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah, it is. So we couldn't watch the whole thing. But we did watch the final match of Cody Rhodes versus
that mean guy,
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, him.
And part of the bloodline.
Which I don't understand.
It's just Roman Reigns, the whole family is all related. So The Rock is one of their cousins, the Uso brothers who wrestle.
No, I get all that, but I just think it's dumb because they can interfere with their matches. Well, they're part of the bloodline. So what? They're cheaters.
Because last night was bloodline rules because Cody and Seth lost the night before. They were going to wrestle by bloodline rules, which means anything can happen.
I don't like that rule. I think it's stupid.
It was, but Cody,
he won.
Spoiler: Cody won.
It's not a spoiler because everybody knows now.
What if they weren't? Some people may have been avoiding it if they were working and they haven't watched it yet. It's like the Super Bowl when you don't watch it.
Hey, the Super Bowl might be fixed too. Who knows?
Oh my gosh, conspiracy theorists.
I love a good conspiracy.
You know, the eclipse never really happened. It was somebody just moving paper in front of the sun.
No, it did. Out. And because I'm such a crazy person, when I was watching the eclipse, sidebar, when I was watching the eclipse, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think my eyes hurt. And then Aiden was like, so my younger son is carbon copy of me, bless his heart, because I'm sorry, kid. Anyway, so he's like, Mom, do you think that your eyes really hurt? Or do you think like we're making it up because we're worried about our eyes hurting? How about
you don't look at it and don't have to worry about it?
We had the glasses on.
You had one pair of glasses between the two of you.
No, we both had.
You both had a pair. Okay.
Yes. She gave us two.
Oh, okay.
So
she had no glasses. So
no,
Heather is probably blind somewhere right now.
No. They actually ordered a pack of glasses off Amazon. So which are these cheap paper glasses?
What they should have done is they should have went to the stores you went to and stood outside and sold them for $10 a pair.
You know what? Okay, so I heard that people were like bootlegging, if you will, these glasses that they got like for free or for 99 cents, and they're selling for 10.
And they remind me of the old 3D paper glasses.
They're just like that, except they're black. You can't see anything.
But you could take the 3D ones and sell them to people who don't know any better. Like,
and then all these people would like be blind.
They would be.
And then Aiden and I were laughing when we were for those few minutes we sat outside. I said to him, because it's a beautiful day here today. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, what are they doing in the theme parks? Because I said, don't tell me that not a soul looked up.
Right.
You know somebody did.
Right. And then they'll probably sue Disney. Because Disney didn't close the dome to block the sun from giving them the eclipse.
Right. But then we were laughing, and Aiden said something like, oh, well, they should have sold them or gave them out at Disney. I said, they're not going to give them out. Those would be $10 for that at least.
And they'll put Mickey Mouse on them, and they'll look really great, and they'll sell them for $10 a pair, and people would buy them.
Heck yeah, they would.
I mean, actually, it would have been a smart business venture for Disney to do to make just a quick cash grab.
Yeah, because like, what's it cost for them to make like a little, like paper glasses?
And with the way they order in bulk,
yeah,
they would. I mean, you wouldn't need more than one day's worth, but still.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was interesting because I know. See, here's the thing. I know you always tell me stuff like, this is how it is, but I'm like, but what about this? But what about that? Mm-hmm. I never take things like black and white. I have to ask, but what about?
I know.
Because I don't just take it for what it is. I'm curious, Atwood.
18 years of curiosity.
So that's why I was like, okay, so they're like, nobody look at the sky. It's going to burn your face off. And I was...
Did somebody ever watch somebody's face burn off?
Maybe. That's what I want to know. And I want to know because don't tell me, just like with the theme parks, just like all over the country, don't tell me that nobody's looking up with just regular sunglasses on.
Oh, no, they are, but they will hurt not everybody, obviously, because if they did, people would be blinded.
Like, I thought my contact lenses would, like, burn to my eyeball.
They're probably attached now for life.
It could be.
And they were disposable, so you're really in trouble. Now your eyes are even worse than they were.
They were worse.
So just to make it clear, we do believe the eclipse can hurt your eyes. We're not saying it won't.
I'm just saying,
because we're going to get messages like, oh my gosh, message them, let them know the eclipse is real. It will hurt them.
Oh no, I know this, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of people that would just be like da 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 and just look up.
What happens if your animals look up?
I don't know.
I mean, like all these animals that live out, like cows and horses that live outside.
But they usually don't look up.
But what if they did because it got dark? I that's what I was reading today. It was like things that 10 things that usually happen during an eclipse, and one of them was animals get confused because they think it's nighttime, and it throws their body clock off. But
well, it's only for a few minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand why it said that, but it said it does confuse the animals and their body clocks get messed up.
Do you ever think that maybe people make a bigger deal out of it than it is?
Oh, of course. Everything is a bigger deal.
Everything's a big deal. Aiden's like, because I love a good rabbit hole. I love to read stuff that's crazy. And I told Aiden, I said, this afternoon people are going to realize that the earth didn't blow up or anything. Right. Nothing happened. And here we are. Obviously it didn't.
Well, for now, it's 5:36 o'clock supposed to go.
But yeah, how did we go from?
I don't know. We got back to the eclipse somehow because you were talking.
We were talking about wrestling, and then we went to the eclipse. I have no idea.
I don't know. You started asking questions about.
Because I'm inquisitive.
You're inquisitive.
Because I'm inquisitive.
Okay, moving on. So that was Adventures in Florida Living. What an adventure it was this week.
What an adventure. Oh, my goodness.
Wow, you need some sunny eclipse music to get you through that adventure.
Are we ready to move on to Disney news?
Yes, let's move on to Disney news. What's going on in Disney news? Because you keep track of it way better than I do.
Yeah, you don't pay attention.
I really don't.
It's a good thing one of us does.
You're a writer. I'm not.
You know what? I just like to read and find out what's going on. So, since we spoke last, I don't think we talked about this because I think it was after, or maybe we did. I don't know. But we're going to talk about it again. Shareholder meeting.
That was after.
Okay, so Iger was asked a gotcha type of question.
Yes, he was.
And the question was, he was asked why Disney has not prepared itself for Epic Universe at Universal, which is pretty savage of a question.
It really is. And at point blank, why haven't you done anything?
Why aren't you doing anything? Okay, so Iger's his answer. Okay, so I took a screenshot of what he said, and I put it on our Facebook page. We can go see it because there's a bajillion comments, and people were kind of like ripping on his answer because his answer basically was like, yeah, well, you might be building a new park, but in the past however many years, we built Galaxy's Edge, we built Toy Story Land.
Mickey pretzels are $8.50 a piece.
They built Guardians, Tron, and he was trying to like pad up like, but we've done this or what we've done that.
But in all fairness, Universal could say the same thing. Well, we built Velocicoaster. We built Hagrid's motorcycle bike ride.
Yeah.
They've built rides also. But in addition to building rides in their already established parks, they're adding a full nother gate.
Right.
A full nother park. Not a water park. A full theme park.
Like a full-on theme park.
That is bigger than Animal Kingdom.
Right. So that you're right. You could get in a total like, this or that type of match because Universal has added stuff too, but now they're building a whole park. So maybe that's why people weren't buying Iger's answer.
No, because his answer is crap. Every theme park. The
opinions of Scott Atwood.
Every theme park in the world adds new rides. Sure. SeaWorld's been adding one every year for the last 2 or 3 years.
They do. Cedar Point adds new rides all the time.
Cedar Point adds new rides every other year. Every theme park adds new rides. So Disney is saying, well, we put in Tron. Well, it took you 5 years to build it. So you really want to brag about that? Huh?
But so here's the thing. And
it's short.
It is really short. Okay, so here's the thing. We're talking logic here, right? We're dropping some knowledge that, should be common sense.
Right.
But you do have these diehard Disney fans. It does not matter.
Nope.
They're like, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, yeah, but I saw people in the comments section say, yeah, but the pandemic. Well, other parks continue too. So which I get why people would be a little bit on the fence about that whole situation because it wasn't a great answer. It really wasn't a great answer. It
wasn't. And Disney has teased out for years, we have enough room to build 3 more parks, but you haven't done it.
No.
And the only blue sky thing you're giving us is beyond Big Thunder Mountain.
Right. Okay. That was my next topic, actually. Good segue.
Thank you.
So, the day after, everybody ripped Disney to shreds in the media. It was put out on Twitter or X, whatever you'd like to call it. I have a really bad habit of still calling it Twitter.
It's Twitter.com is still the website.
Okay. Well, it is what it is. You know, that site over there.
Elon Musk's social media website.
Yes. Which I read all the time. Okay, so you gotta learn a lot of stuff over there.
You don't post there, but you'll read.
You don't know
because they're vicious.
No, okay, but it's not as vicious as it used to be.
Oh, okay.
And I auto feed all our stuff to Twitter, but nobody cares. All right, anyway, so as I was saying, over on the Twitter, somebody took a screenshot of possible permit that Disney was looking to pull and it was an overhead drawing of all this land behind Big Thunder Mountain.
Right.
So there's been a speculation, let's just say, because on Friday even, I was talking about my friend at the Orlando Sentinel. He whipped out his recorder and asked me for a quote because of what I thought about that whole situation.
Right.
And so 2 years ago at the D23 Expo, they gave all these quote unquote blue sky concepts. Could it be villains? Could it be what's the name of that movie? Encanto. Could it be?
And I think they said Coco, didn't they?
I don't know.
I don't know. It was one of those films.
I don't know. But we don't know because they didn't say. No. And in what would we had this discussion. You have to remind me.
Okay.
You and I had a discussion the other day about if they put a villain's land as opposed to just adding extra things to the park because they have Adventureland and all this. Are they going to do something with villains? And then I forget. I was talking to somebody else.
Well, I had mentioned to you about Epic Universe is going to have the Universal Monsters land.
Yeah, which is cool.
Which is so cool. So maybe Disney's leaning towards that villain's land to try to compete with Universal. Now, sorry, and all the Disney people are going to tell me I'm wrong, but Universal Monsters, the legacy, the history of them is so much better than the Disney villains.
Well, sure, because you're talking 100 years ago, movies and things that had come out when motion pictures were still brand new and they did the horror films like Dracula, Frankenstein, the werewolf, Creature from the Black Lagoon, all that stuff. And Disney villains are made up current times,
drawn
from movies.
Yes, and they're usually drawn and animated.
Animated, right? But then I forget. I'm so tired today. I can't think. It's been a long day. Somebody had said or asked a question about how over in Tokyo, how they added a new Frozen area and they're putting in a Tangled ride. Somebody needs to do something here. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? They added new spots without making it its own entity, I guess you could say.
Right. Dwayne and you were talking about that actually. So I remember the conversation because Dwayne said how in other parks they'll pinpoint a section based on an attraction or on a film. So like they have the Frozen area. They have, and we have it here with Pandora. The whole area is Pandora or Galaxy's Edge.
I forgot about Pandora.
The whole area is Star Wars. But we don't have like a Tangled area or
we have a bathroom.
Sleeping Beauty area or Cinderella area or we have attractions based on these characters.
Yeah, but
not those ones. But
not an actual land.
Right. Not a full land that you walk into like Arendelle and you're transported to Frozen.
And you know what? I'm mad. Because,
here we go.
Because I shouldn't have. Okay, first of all, I don't like to fly. You all know that. And it's expensive. I don't have any money either. So I will never, ever, ever, unless something miraculous happens, get to go see the Tangled ride and the Tangled stuff overseas. And it makes me angry because I shouldn't have to go across the whole freaking world to see something cool with Tangled.
Right.
And I think it's dumb. And you know what? I was reading comments, and I'm not the only one who has a problem with that. Like, why does it's such a great movie and we get a freaking bathroom?
Right.
And you know what else? What else bothers me?
Oh boy, here we go, people. Grab some popcorn, sit back.
Okay, so it's not. I didn't write this down to talk about. I'm going rogue over here.
Oh boy.
So they made a big to do about Disney, wrapped some more buses. Okay. So it's a bus. And it was like Ratatouille, and I forget what the other one was, but it was like, oh, come on. And then people in the comments section are like, where's there some lanterns on a bus? It's this movie just gets ignored, and it was fantastic, and people love it.
But the other day we talked about this, and I mentioned to you about how, so like when Frozen came out, Frozen was the bomb. It could do no wrong. Everybody loved Frozen. Now a lot of people are like, I'm kind of tired of Frozen. Tired of hearing about Anna and Elsa and Kristoff.
But you got little kids that
they're gonna love it forever. But Tangled, being that it was kind of held back, has always kept it. Everybody still loves it. If you loved it, then you still love it. There's no reason for you to say, "Oh, I hate Tangled now because of this," or "I got burnt out on Tangled because
they didn't beat it into the ground like they do with some other films.
And if you go to Disneyland, they have a lot more Tangled out there.
They have the show. They have a little stage show, which is so great. They
have a tower out there that you
oh my gosh, the tower lights up at night because I was able to do that last time we were there. Do you remember?
Yep. Because once it got dark, and Disneyland isn't packed like Walt Disney World is.
No.
So we waited until dark time. We went over there, and there was a time where there was nobody else in the area but you, and you were able to get pictures watching the light go up the tower. It was really cool.
It was singing,
yes.
And I'll never forget it because there was a cast member, kind of in my peripheral vision, and she's like, "You want me to take a picture with that?" She was, because I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, "This is so wonderful." She goes, "It's great, isn't it? You must be a big Tangled fan. Let me take your picture." It was just the sweetest thing. And it was just me and her back there.
Right. And then not too far from that, during the day, they actually have Flynn and Rapunzel that come out and talk to people.
There's a do.
With Flynn and Rapunzel.
Yeah. And we've bantered with them too. But anyway, I know you guys at home are probably like, "Oh my God, shut up about Tangled already."
It's our show. We're talking about Tangled.
But I would love to see something like that back there. But I found it very interesting that at the same time Iger was asked this question, all of a sudden people are talking about permits behind Big Thunder.
Right.
And nobody knows. We don't know what's going to go back there.
No.
There's all kinds of speculation. And if you think about it, the 3 Blue Sky maybes that D23 had said, they could have thought of something else in the last 2 years, and it could be something that wasn't even one of their Blue Sky concepts.
No, I think they threw the Blue Sky concepts out there to see because D23, you have a huge dedicated fan base that is all about Disney. So if these people
these are the diehard Disney fans.
These are the diehard Disney fans. Not that there's ones that don't go, but these are a good sample for Disney to go, okay, which one's going to get us the biggest applause? In the villains area, got the biggest pop I think I've ever heard.
It did. And I mean, I'm not saying taking away from other Disney fans, but these people are willing to, save up money, spend a ton of money on tickets, go to Anaheim, which isn't cheap.
Right.
And the hotels out there are super expensive. I think it's a good test audience for Disney because just to see how it goes. And I guess we'll see. I wish I had more knowledge about that.
Yeah, I wish they would have made more definite things that were coming at last D23 than
maybe they will this year.
I don't know. I don't have much faith.
I don't know. I was just kind of disappointed that I don't mean to get down on Disney because I do love it. There's some things that I question. That's all. Like, why?
It just gets disheartening sometimes.
It is disheartening
because the company is not the company you and I grew up knowing.
Oh, heck no.
Wow. Sorry. This is a family podcast, Michelle. Now I'm going to have to go put a beep over that because you slipped.
Well, actually, hell's a place.
But that's not how you meant it.
No, whatever.
And now you just said it twice.
We're all adults here. It's fine. You guys want to yell at me. That's okay. But no, it's not the same. And actually, it's not the same as it was before the whole COVID mess.
True.
And even if they could go back to how things were before COVID.
Yes.
Like get rid of this freaking crappy Genie Plus and the reservation system and charging for every single thing.
You know what I would like to get back to? Epcot's countries, having people from those countries work in them.
They still do.
Not as much, because we were somewhere when we were at Epcot, we were walking around, and I noticed we were in one of the countries. I'm not sure which one it was, but they were not. Japan did, but it was other places.
Italy has Italians.
Not all though. There's people who
at the food booths. They do.
Yeah, but it used to always be everybody who worked in that country.
Yeah, no, it's not everybody.
And it's not that way anymore.
But there's some.
Some, but not as many.
It's
so
not what it used to be.
No, and then that was part of the whole educational purpose of Epcot was to teach. And that's been lost a long time ago. When they started bringing IPs into the World Showcase, they kind of threw that out the window.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was the beginning of the end as far as, and truthfully, not to be sound like a huge dork, but as I get older, let's say, I appreciate the different cultures around World Showcase.
Definitely.
To learn, what kind of food they have, with just more about that country. I think it's really cool. Mm-hmm. And especially, Italy's my favorite one because my dad's side of the family's Italian. And since my grandpa passed last year, I feel like that part of my heritage is gone, and it's kind of how I feel a little bit better. Is that weird?
No, because like you said earlier, you're never going to go to Italy. You're never going to fly to Italy to visit. So this is the closest you're probably going to get. No, I know you would, but it's bringing your heritage and your culture, because I'm Italian also, and it's bringing it into our lives because we'll never go to the actual place.
No, and I, not to get sentimental, but my grandparents always, that was their bucket list trip was to go to Italy. And if I were to go, I would do it for them. Right. Because I know how much it meant to them and they didn't get to do it.
Okay, I'm going to Expedia now and booking the flight.
I wish we could afford it.
She said she would go.
No, so. I'm just saying, I'm just saying I do appreciate the culture and the different things around World Showcase. And I think if they put too many IPs back there, it does take away from the education part. Now, however, people complained years ago that Epcot was too educational and it was boring.
And it wasn't for kids.
No.
It was not a place for kids to go and hang out and it wasn't. It was not fun for most kids. Some kids did find it informative and they liked it, but a lot of kids were like, I don't want to go to Epcot. There's no fun rides and it's boring and I don't see any of the characters I want to see.
Right. But then they started to add a Mickey meet and greet, and they started adding different things like Mission Space. Makes me sick. Stuff like that. And then when they changed Maelstrom to Frozen, you knew that was the beginning of the end as far as them putting IPs. Right. And look, as a matter of fact, with Illuminations, that was all about countries and people coming together in the world, world peace and harmony and all this stuff. And now we have IPs again. Yeah. No, I do like the new show.
I do. And it's IP, but I think it's IP just to grab at your heartstrings at the right time.
And it does.
And it really does.
But it's not, if you want to go back to, I know we can't go in reverse. And I think that, I have a point. I just got it. Hold on. Maybe that's why us, longtime Disney fans get disgruntled, let's say, with Disney because we appreciate the nostalgia and the meaning of how everything was. Yes. And to see it in the past few years turn into something that was more commercial, more cash grab, let's say. We're going to put this in the country. Because if you go... they're not stupid. You go over to Norway and you ride the Frozen ride, and as soon as you get off that ride, you're in a Frozen gift shop.
You're in a store.
And and every time there's people buying a bunch of crap in there. There is. I think that it's us that grew up with Disney that maybe feel a little disheartened, or even our parents that took us to these places that maybe feel a little different. I don't know.
And I think we're the generation that will not know, the one after us. So the boys don't know the history of Disney except for what we've told them. They didn't grow up like we did. watching these movies and knowing like Walt's visions and all that stuff.
They grew up with some.
They grew up with some, but not like nowadays. And now kids, even younger kids, they don't remember what Epcot was like 10 years ago because they weren't here.
No, they only know what's current.
Exactly. So I think there's I guess you could say they're changing over to the new crowds that are going to be coming into the park. And in 30, 40 years from now, a kid now is going to be bringing his family to Epcot 40 years from now, and none of them are going to have any knowledge of what Epcot's original plan was.
No, and we went to Magic Kingdom, 2 weeks ago, I want to say. And when we were walking through Fantasyland, I was talking to the boys.
Yeah.
And one of them asked me a question about what was back there.
Right.
And I was telling them about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And one of them said, oh, like the one at Disneyland. I'm like, well, I said, that's where it was. Now it's this Nemo ride.
Right.
But I was trying to explain to them it's a Nemo IP, but what we had here was like the old fisherman stories and the sea and the mermaids and all of that stuff.
And they owned the movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It was based off an original movie, live action movie,
right,
all those years ago. But in order to keep kids interested, they had to switch over to an IP that kids would find fascinating and want to go ride and see. And see Dory and see that.
I don't like that. And I think that, okay, so again, follow me. Here we go again. Disneyland. You feel the rich history when you walk into that park. You feel Walt's original concept.
His spirit is still in that park 100% between cast members, the buildings, everything. You still feel it.
And they still have a lot of things they have not changed, like that magic shop.
Right.
Or the some of the rides behind the castle that are still original rides.
And that's my favorite area in that whole park.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
Now, what they should have done out at Disneyland, because it has that feel still, because you have the nostalgia out there, they could have left 20,000 Leagues there and skipped this whole Nemo garbage.
Yep.
Like it would have still, because they still have Mr. Toad,
Right.
They have all that, like Pinocchio, Snow White. They could have left those Nautiluses in that water. And go and look at the Matterhorn out there. That's super old and it hurts your back.
Yeah, I was going to say another ride that hurts your back.
But my whole point is they have a lot of like original things that they could have left at.
Yeah, then the nostalgia still is very much alive in Disneyland. Or Walt Disney World is based on tourists coming and they want to give them the most thrills and get the most money while they can.
Yeah, I really love Disneyland though. But.
No, I do too. Disneyland's just compared to Walt Disney World. I love Disneyland. It's a whole different ball game out there. It's more sentimental. The first time me and you were there and we were leaving, we both were teary-eyed walking out of there because we knew we were going.
And the light was on in Walt's apartment.
It was, and you see that. But the cast members, they are so much more of Walt's vision of what it was when Walt was there.
Not that the cast members are bad here.
I'm not saying they're bad at all.
Everything feels more old-fashioned there.
Does.
Let's just say old-fashioned.
And the character's still walking around. Yeah. And they're not like, oh, Mickey will be in this spot from 3 to 4, and then he's got to be in the parade, and then he'll be back from 5 to 6. And it's like, I like them roaming. I like when you see like Peter Pan and Maleficent talking to each other, and they're giving each other, they're pointing at each other and picking at each other.
Yeah,
and it's just cool because out there they just don't care. They just have fun with it, and that's what the whole thing is supposed to be about having fun. And here, you can't put Peter Pan and Maleficent. That's 2 IPs crossing, and how dare you? They would never meet in this universe.
No, it's a different vibe out there. Let's just say that.
And most people like it better.
They do. I mean, I never thought I would like Disneyland better than Disney World.
You didn't want to go for a long time.
I didn't want to go. I'm like, I am not even interested. And a lot of it had to do with how small their castle was, which is so stupid in hindsight.
At least their castle has something to walk through and see. Ours, really, you just walk through.
We have a restaurant and...
Bippity boppity.
Yeah.
Which that's not even in there anymore. That's in the store behind it.
Yeah. I don't know, but there's a restaurant up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a different thing. But hopefully we'll be able to get out there soon because I miss it.
We'll see. D23 is coming up, so we'll see if we're out there for that. If not, I would like to just go as a vacation.
We don't vacation. What are you talking about?
I know we never vacation. Our vacations are going to Michigan or going to Disneyland.
And it's work.
And it's always either work.
And that's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Like going out to D23, it is so grueling and so tiring.
It is.
And I want to say the last one, now don't get me wrong. I love that we get invited to things. I love my job. I worked really hard to get here. But when you go out there, you're like, media is on a certain schedule. You have to cover this. You got to do that. Like, you're tired. You want to go back to the room, but you can't because Disney's going to have you go check this out later. And I think it was the third day I just cried because my feet hurt, my back hurt. I was overwhelmed. I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't.
And that third day is a good one to bring up because when we were out there last time for D23, we're on the convention floor all day long, covering panels, covering the convention floor. Then last year we had left there, I think it was on the second day, Saturday, and they had the Oogie Boogie Bash at California Adventure.
Oh, we did go to that.
So then we went to the Oogie Boogie Bash, which was the D23 Oogie Boogie Bash.
Right.
So we went and did that. Then the next morning, I had to be up because I didn't get press for the Lucasfilm Marvel Studios movie panel, which is the biggest one on that last day, and I wanted to go. So I was out there with Lou at like 6 a.m, waiting till I think noon or 10:30, whatever time it was when they opened the thing, so we could go in there and sit and get ready for that panel. But even though I didn't have a media pass to be in there, I had to be there because we had to cover it because there's so much information that comes out of that stuff. One of us had to make sure we were there.
Yeah, you got up and did that one because I had a scheduled press.
You did.
Something or other. I had to be there at 10. We walked to the convention center, and it was just a mess.
And this year, I just don't know how they're going to do it this year. I mean, having that nothing is in the same building.
It's all over the place.
The ticket fiasco, put that to the side.
Right.
The logistics of this and running a convention, even though it's on a much smaller scale, I deal with a lot of logistics on my small thing. So I can imagine dealing with the logistics of that, making sure everything is the way it is.
Multiple locations.
Yeah, exactly. So good luck to them. They should have talked to the guys in Pensacon because they run out of 5 locations and they do it great.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'll be curious to see everybody's feedback after this year.
Right. And because it's something so different, you're either going to have people love it or people hate it.
And I think being it's the first year, kind of like Jollywood Night's first night was a mess.
Yeah,
and I'm sure the first year this could be an absolute mess. A lot of stuff they're not thinking about that could happen, and they're either going to have to go back to what it was before in 2 years, or they're just going to scrap it all together because the expo, D23 Expo, doesn't exist at this point.
No, it's the ultimate fan event now because it's in different buildings and different locations. But we'll see.
Yeah, I know my opinion on the ultimate fan event.
I know you have opinions. So, I know that we're getting shorter on time.
Yes, we are. So we should probably move on. So we've done the shareholders call. Last week we saw some of the animatronics for Tiana's Bayou.
Disney put out a video of some of the animatronics that are going to be in Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and they are pretty darn impressive.
They are really impressive, actually. From what I saw, they are amazing. Actually,
they're really good.
I mean, up until this, the big one was the one in Avatar.
The shaman.
The shaman, which was just an amazing animatronic
because of how she moves and how smooth. And you really think that that's like a real thing. Right.
So now we're seeing that with multiple characters straight out of a movie.
So I saw the part with Lewis playing the whatever he
his
played.
horn.
Yeah. And it looks like the cartoon character came to life.
It does.
It just the movements and stuff is really, really cool.
Mama Odie.
Yeah.
They nailed that one. I mean,
they did. They even have Tiana's friend Charlotte.
Charlotte, yep.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think it's going to be really cool to see. Like today they announced that they have a truck that they're putting out there. Like I don't know if it's like supposed to be like a food truck or some sort of truck.
A beignet truck would be great.
Oh my gosh, I'm hungry. That sounds good.
Or a jambalaya truck.
No, beignets.
Beignet truck.
But just to add to the outside facade of the attraction, it's really coming along. So I'm excited to see it. And I know, what makes me mad, just before we move on.
Okay.
Here's what makes me mad. So, I'm just doing my job.
Right.
I report the news And even though I don't want to be a news site, that's not really what we intended to be, but I still share the news.
You have to.
And y'all can go in my comment section if you don't believe me. But every stinking time I put something out about Tiana's Bayou Adventure, bring back Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain or we boycott.
Well, you can boycott.
Dude, there's this guy, and I don't even know his name, and I don't mean to call him out necessarily, but I've almost blocked him because, bring back Splash or we boycott. We're boycott, and he writes everything in all caps.
Okay, but he is one guy spewing his venom.
Oh, he's got like change.org petitions.
Okay, but that doesn't offend Disney. That's not going to get them to change anything. They've spent way too much money already.
That's what I'm saying, and this is what I was gonna say something to these people that trash it in the comment section. They've already changed the inside of the ride. They already have animatronics. Do you honestly think because you are crabbing that they're going to scrap all the millions of dollars and put it back for you? No. And I think sometimes that people, I just want to say, I mean, my filter is breaking daily. And it's like sometimes I just want to say, look, you can kick your feet all you want. They're not going to do that. And if you want to boycott it, go for it.
Go for it, but there's still going to be millions of people who are going to ride it.
Like it is. And I don't like change much more than anybody else.
No.
But I've never been like, oh, do this or I'm going to boycott you.
Right. And honestly, I liked Splash Mountain. I really did. I always enjoyed it. I always liked being, once you get inside of it, and it was so much cooler in there. And in August and July, the air conditioning,
nice in the
before
summer.
you turn to go onto the boats, it was so cold in there, and it was great when you were sweating. But I always liked it. And it has nothing to do with the movie.
I always liked the bunny that was sweeping on the porch.
It was iconic. And people like I was saying earlier, like people going to Disney now, they don't know the history of stuff. Most kids do not know about the movie. Unless their parents have taught them. They don't know what all that was about. They don't have any idea about it.
In this day and age, people are changing, and they've changed this ride, and they're not going to go back to what it was.
And Walt said, Disney is never finished. It will always be changing.
Yes.
And you have to remember that. Now, granted, would I rather them change and add another park? Yes. I'm so tired of them just updating the current park.
Tangled ride.
Something. Just give us something, but quit. I get it that they're upgrading these rides to appease the minority of people who are complaining and stuff like that, but they're not going to bring back a ride just because one person is saying, I'm going to boycott it, or 10,000 people are saying it.
Disney's going to do what Disney's going to do, no matter your change.org position.
They've never stopped.
They don't care, you guys. They just don't care.
Because they spend, so before we even find out about it, there has already been hundreds, if not thousands of man hours putting it together. The Imagineers already have an outline of what they're going to do before they tell us about it. Because the budget has to be approved years in advance to make sure they have the money there to do this. So nothing is done quickly. And yes, it looked like Splash Mountain was just flipped like quickly, like all of a sudden Splash is closed. No, it had been in the works for years. It had been talked about. Actually, they talked about closing it right after the parks opened in 2021. Yes. We knew that it was coming. Because I remember we were there the day it opened to go to the store, and everybody was taking all the stuffed animals off the shelf. All the personal shoppers were stealing all the merchandise off the shelves. But I guess my whole point is that I just don't understand people that, argue and get really nasty on social media over things that's not going to change. And if you really want to boycott it, stop spending money at Disney. Right. If you don't like what Disney's doing, don't go. Yep. How about that? When you buy that ticket to walk in that park, it includes everything that is inside that park. So if Splash Mountain is your reason that you're going to boycott Disney, then you can't go there to ride Tron. It defeats the purpose. It defeats the purpose. It's not like you're buying e-tickets. And no. I'm not going to ride Splash Mountain, so I'm not going to buy e-ticket. No. You buy a ticket to go into the park. The whole park. So if you're boycotting one ride that's in the park, well, there's 60 other ones that you're going to be able to ride. And if people would just stop it and actually, like, if you were to watch, I put it on our Facebook page, the video of the preview of the audio animatronics are super impressive. Maybe if you just let the past go and embrace what's coming and get excited for it, because I really think it's going to be cool. I can't wait to see it.
The animatronics made me more excited for the ride, so just go with it.
And I'm sure in 25 years, when they're getting rid of Tiana's adventure for something else, the same person's probably going to throw a boycott against that, because they're going to end up loving the ride, loving the beignets outside of it, and they're not going to want to go away.
I just want beignets.
But I want Disneyland beignets. I don't want Disney World beignets, because they're not as good.
There's only so much we can do.
No, you fly the water, and they do it for Italy for pizza. They can do it for the beignets.
So yeah, anyway, the point is that Tiana's Bayou Adventure is really coming together, and I'm really excited, and it's going to be here before we know it.
And we're still waiting for an opening date, correct? We haven't heard the opening date.
It's June.
June. Well, we do know also in June, though, Test Track is closing for a refurb.
Yeah, so they gave a picture of concept art in the past couple of days, I believe. Just the outside of what it's going to look like, which didn't look that different to me.
No, it didn't.
But they're not giving away necessarily what they're doing to revamp it.
And we're not switching sponsors.
No.
It's still going to be the same. It's Chevy?
I believe, yeah.
Chevy's the sponsor, so that's staying the same. Because usually Test Track always got revamped when it switched sponsors.
Yeah, it just seems like it's getting an upgrade, or maybe some updates. I don't know, but one of the kids had said the last time they rode it, they felt like it needed to be upgraded. They said it wasn't the same.
Or they're going to boycott it.
They're going to boycott. I don't think anybody would boycott Test Track, but who knows?
I'm boycotting. My family worked for Ford, so I'm boycotting it because it's not a Ford sponsor.
Okay, you do that. You get yourself a petition. I'm not going to sign it, though.
I'll just forge your name. It'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay, so as Michele said, though, we are getting really pushed on time here, so we're going to move along to other attractions, pop culture, and more. And bless you, she sneezed. Bless you again.
Sorry.
We only had one thing to really talk about in this that came out in the last week, which was Halloween Horror Nights announced their dates.
They're starting early.
Go figure.
They're first. They usually are in the first week of September.
Mm-hmm.
They are starting on not October, August 30th this year.
So really close to September.
So actually only a few days sooner.
Yeah.
However, people online were crabbing about that too. And it's really not. They're like, oh, no, it should be September. But it's you might as well say September because it's the very end of August.
And I think people get that way because Disney is early August now with Mickey's Not So Scary. But
because people down, and I get it. And it's because I do it too. Like, I am so jazzed about Halloween, like, come August. I can't wait to pull out my pumpkin
October
stuff.
1st, you're done.
And then when it gets closer, by mid-October, I am so sick of Halloween.
Right. Well, because it's a 3-month holiday here.
Yeah, why can't we have 3-month Christmas?
Well, they have to move Christmas to the end of January. But I understand why they're doing this. Halloween Horror Nights, if you've never been, is an amazing event. If you like that, the scarier.
And
events.
even I'm a big chicken, and I really had a good time last year. I went twice.
They do it up really good.
They do.
The houses are the premier houses. The scare zones are incredible.
The special food, the merchandise,
the decorations.
And the whole park is encompassed no matter where you walk.
Right.
Not just like Disney, it's just Main Street mostly.
Right.
The whole it's got the spooky vibe all over the park.
And it happens almost every day once it starts. I think there's very few days where there's not a Halloween party.
And they have like the frequent fear pass where you can go often. And you know what's...
And it's affordable.
It is more affordable because, think about it. If you look at, not to compare the two parties because you can't, Disney's is a totally different thing.
Disney's is a kid and family friendly one where Halloween Horror Nights is not kid and family friendly.
It's not, but... going back to the frequent fear pass, like there are people that they have that because people go multiple times. Yep. Like usually the average person will go to Not So Scary once, maybe twice. Right. But these people go multiple times. I mean, some people go every weekend or they go a weeknight. There's different passes that you can get. Mm-hmm. So it's actually kind of almost like a big social gathering for people too, because they go a lot.
It is, and you go with groups because it's more fun to go through these houses with a group because you always have the people who aren't scared, and then you have the people who are completely scared before they even walk in the door.
I would be that person,
and you're that person. But it's just a lot of fun. But because the house lines get so long, you might go one night and you might only go through 2 houses. Now there's 10 houses this year. Going to be 10 houses this year. They haven't announced any of them, and we have our rumors floating around, but there's going to be 10. Unless you buy the express pass to get into those 10 houses, you will not get into them the one night.
No, it's long. Well, we went for the media thing. Yes. We got to go early in the season. And they gave us the
express pass for that.
And they gave us express pass, which I was terrified. And then we went in towards the end of October when we went with Sean, my friend Sean here, and then my girlfriends came to town. That was fun going in a group.
It was a lot of fun. And Andrew came with us because Andrew did have the frequent fear pass.
Yes, he did, which he didn't make the most out of it.
No, he got his money's worth as far as how many times he went versus what it would have cost him to go those nights, but he could have gone more often and got more use out of it. But like Sean, I think, is a frequent fear, and he goes quite a bit.
Yeah, he does. But a lot of people get that pass because they're like, okay, when are we going back? It's not a one and done for a lot of people. It's just a different atmosphere.
And I think the pass pays for itself after 3 times. The one pass, like the one where you can go you can't go Friday and Saturday, but you can go like every other night of the week.
Yeah, because when we went with Sean and the girls, we went on a Sunday night, which was not as crowded by far. If you would have gone on a Friday or Saturday. Because remember, we thought about going on a Friday. We're like, no, let's go Sunday.
And we waited. I think we did 4 houses that night.
Did we really?
3 or 4 houses. But we also rode the Mummy because Perna, who's here from Michigan, she had never been to Universal.
No, and I took them on Gringotts, too.
Yes,
we went to Harry Potter. Also. So, yeah, I wanted to not just see the scary stuff, but I wanted them to get to experience some of the rides for Universal because they hadn't.
And the scare zones are the one last year was called Vamp. Was that the
the hippie bus and the old music playing?
That was fun.
I know you liked that.
I could have just sat in that area all night just filming and watching the people because it's just fun to see how the people react. And you don't know what the zombie or the scary person is going to do to you when they walk past you.
Because sometimes they walk past you, sometimes they get in your face. It just depends. It's a crapshoot. Like who's going to get it?
I know we walked through with our friend Ashton the first night. And Ashton knows a lot of the actors who were there. So he was like pointing to Michele, like get her, or chainsaws.
No, that chainsaw thing was a mess. I don't like that stuff. I mean, I will give myself credit that I did go twice. I did go in some houses. Did I keep my eyes closed? Yeah. But for me, someone like me who's had a lifelong fear of this stuff, I mean, if I can do it, anybody can. Yeah, thanks, Dad. It's my dad's fault. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to going this year. And that's crazy because usually I'm like, I wish I could go, but I'm too scared.
So what houses are you, what's the big house you're hoping they announce?
Beetlejuice.
I think Beetlejuice, because the movie's coming. I think there's going to be a Beetlejuice.
I hope they have Beetlejuice because of the movie, because it's coming out in September. I don't know what else. I know some people because there's another season of Stranger Things. But they just did Stranger Things last year.
And it was good.
And it was really good.
It was a really good house.
So I think I don't think they'll do that. And then there was another one that people were talking about. Ghostbusters again because of the new movie.
The last movie. I've heard a lot of people talking about Freddy Krueger. That there'll be a Freddy house.
Oh, I'd be so scared.
I don't know if it's true. And then of course, Universal Monsters.
I mean, they could really, because it's okay. So they had Chucky last year, so they could do Freddy Krueger or go back to Michael Myers or something like that.
Freddy versus Jason house. I think they did that years ago. That might be fun.
Maybe, even though the movie was stupid.
Yeah, but I think it'd be fun to see that. I like the Trick or Treat house they had a few years ago. That was fun.
Okay, so I would go in it, but I probably would cry.
Probably
because that movie, it's a love-hate relationship with that movie.
You love it, but you get scared.
I'll watch it, but it freaks me out every time. And then after I'm done watching it, I'm like, why did I watch that?
And then you pull the blanket over your face. It's like when you watch football.
Kind of same thing. I don't like all that anticipation.
Yeah.
However, and I've only watched the TV edited version of.
Oh, that's right.
Which I know it's quite violent. But
a little bit.
Like I just, that's enough for me. It creeps me out. It's just a weird movie.
It's a weird vibe movie. There's like 4 storylines going on at one time.
So I would like to see. Okay, it's one of those things. It's spinach dip. Like I really want to like it, but I don't.
It's spinach dip. Why not? Sam is the spinach maker.
It's the spinach. It's the same thing. Like, I really want to like it. I think it's cool, but I'm scared. So maybe like the spinach dip, I will eventually like it.
You might.
I just got to keep trying.
You just gotta keep trying till it just sticks, and then you're like, oh, this movie's not even scary anymore. So
I don't know.
That could happen.
But yeah, so like I would really like to see the haunted house, but I'd be terrified.
If Paula and Michelle come back to go Halloween Horror Nights, I really hope there's a Michael Myers house, just so we can take Paula through it.
Yeah,
I think that'd be fun to see, because I know Perna would make her go.
Oh, for
Even
sure.
though she wouldn't want to, she would have to.
Oh, and we would see. Here's the bad part about that. So if we drag Paula through a Michael Myers house, like nothing bothers Michelle Perna.
No.
But if I laugh at her at all, she will do whatever she can to get even with me.
Oh yeah.
To the point that I cry.
And that's why they had chainsaw people following you when they went.
See, I don't get to do all the fun because I'm afraid of retaliation.
You just gotta own it and live it and run with it.
Run away from a chainsaw.
Run away from that chainsaw as fast as you can, because they don't follow you out of the zone. So as long as you get past the end of the zone,
they stay on the sidewalk and they don't come get you.
They will.
No,
we'll talk to people. We'll have them come get you on the sidewalk.
No. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about, and the fact that it's already got hype is kind of fun. And even though Halloween is still months away, but time goes by so fast, so we'll see.
And those houses are already planned. They already know what they're doing.
Sure, they do.
They're already starting to make the props and get them ready to go. So I'd love to know what some of them are going to be. It'd be great to get some of the.
Oh, people will start leaking out ideas, or they put out the speculation maps, like what they think it's going to be, and sometimes they're right.
Sometimes they get
not always
right. Yeah,
but sometimes they're right. So now that I actually go to this event, I mean,
you were scared of it for years.
I'm
You're
still
like, I'm
scared.
not going. No, you were. I'm not going. I will, because the first year we had passes. We had the highest level pass, and with the highest level pass, you got a free HHN ticket with each pass. So we had 4 passes to go. Well, you and Aiden didn't go. Me and Andrew went, but there's no way to transfer your passes to us to go a second night.
And then before COVID and everything, I went in 19 for the very first time and ended up crying and in a fetal position.
You did.
So the fact that I made it through twice
after that
last year. I give myself major props for that.
The fetal position, though, scare was really that was I could understand why you got that way, because they tortured you.
They totally tortured me.
The Universal Monsters house got you, which was my favorite house, but they got you.
They got me really bad. I must have had like a big old bullseye.
It was the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah, he liked you.
Just leave me alone already.
He was following you through the whole room.
Oh my God, no. So yeah, but I'll be interested to see, and I really do want to go again this year.
Well, then we're gonna make sure we're there, and I hope we get invited to the media night, the opening media night.
Yeah, me too.
Because you get to film. In the houses, which I think would be really cool for people who are afraid to go to it to actually be able to see what it is
I couldn't
about.
film it because it would be jerking all over the place, because if they jumped out at me, I'd probably drop the camera.
You need a chest mount like a GoPro.
Yeah, me filming would be a total waste of time because you get sick watching that footage.
It'd be like the Blair Witch when they're just running and you just see the camera's up on their nose is running, tears are running out of their eyes. Just get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
Get me home. So I guess that's it then for this week. But I do have a question for you, as I do every week.
Okay, what's up?
So what is your favorite sit-down restaurant at Walt Disney World?
Ooh.
And also your favorite walk-up at Walt Disney World? Any park, including the Springs.
Oh, that's hard. Go. That was mean.
And every second you take is a second people got to listen longer.
I know. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Oh my goodness. Favorite sit down. I'm gonna say, well, a safe bet is Liberty Tree, but I do love Viennapoli, even though I don't want to get the pizza every time we go. You always make us get pizza.
You guys can order something else.
I want ravioli or spaghetti. So those are probably two favorites if I could come up with something. But I do love Splitsville at the Springs. They have the best frozen drinks, and I really love their stir fry, their chicken stir fry. So we'll do an extra nod at Splitsville.
Okay.
Walk up. Ugh. So I do like the one in Japan where I had the rice and the broccoli. At Epcot. I don't really like a whole lot of walk-ups.
No, the walk-ups aren't as good as they used to be.
No, sometimes I'd rather eat before I even go to the park or when we leave.
It's actually cheaper to go off property and eat someplace because you'll get more food for the cheaper price usually, and it's better usually, especially a walk-up.
Seriously, what walk-ups do we like?
I like Connections. You're not a big fan of Connections.
I just got burnt out on it.
Yeah, I like Connections Cafe at Epcot.
It's not bad.
It used to be Pecos Bills used to be one of our favorites.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But they're not good anymore. Cosmic Rays was one we went to all the time, but we kind of got burnt out on it.
That's the thing, it's so repetitive.
It is.
And it is hard to spend $15 on a mediocre sandwich.
True. And then my favorite sit down doesn't even exist anymore, which was Trails End when it was.
Trails End was the best. They ruined it.
Yeah, when they got rid of that devastated me. But this coming week, we will be going to on Wednesday. We're going to 1900 Park Fair.
No, that was my favorite. I'm very curious to see it the same. So 1900 Park Fair at the Grand Floridian is reopening, and we are going. So you'll have to wait for a review on that.
Yes.
It was my favorite. I loved it at breakfast and dinner.
Yes.
So I'm very curious. I really hope it's as good as it used to be.
I hope so.
Fingers
also.
crossed.
And we'll be there. We actually got one of the first reservations on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Greg made sure we all could go, so we're going to be there Wednesday at 4:00. So we will have reviews probably later that day, and I'm sure you'll be posting pictures and such.
Yeah. So if you follow my Instagram at the Main Street Mouse, I put a lot in my stories. And a lot of those stories transfer over to the Facebook stories. And speaking of Facebook, I've been having a very hard time posting the link for our podcast. They tried to say Facebook busted me for spamming my own page, which is insane to me. So
it means somebody had to report it.
No, because you know what it was? I used the same link and the same wording that I had used like 2 days prior.
But I thought you were allowed to reshare stuff.
Nah. Well,
Facebook.
It's stupid.
I want to bring Mark Zuckerberg on this show. I want to ask him the hard questions.
I hate that guy.
So do I. So do most people. Though.
Yeah.
I don't even think his family probably likes him.
But anyway, so subscribe to this podcast
Yes.
because you don't want to miss an episode.
No. So wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it be Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean is the main one. Spotify is one. Amazon. We're on Amazon Music. You can actually get through your Alexa if you go in there and Alexa
Fancy.
podcast. Anywhere podcasts are, we should be on that channel. If not, let me know and I will make sure we get added to that platform so you can get it.
Right. So, and we're out every Monday night. And don't forget that my new podcast will be coming out hopefully later this week. It depends on how busy our week is.
It's coming out this week.
Okay, I guess it's coming out this week.
We're not going to keep putting it off.
And the live podcast show on Wednesdays.
Yes. And I don't know if we'll make 7 o'clock for this one tonight, but I'm going to try my darndest to get it close.
Probably might be a little late tonight, but it is coming.
Yes.
Well, but actually, you know what? By the time they listen, they're not going to care.
They're not going to care because it'll be eventually. So they'll get that part. But I just wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, MEI Mouse Fan Travel. If you need any travel arrangements made for you, either going to Disney, going to Universal, going on a cruise on Royal Caribbean, whatever you need, MEI Mouse Fan Travel will be able to help you with that travel needs. So reach out to them. They will give you a no obligation quote. And you can talk to them and tell them exactly what you want.
Their services are free.
Services are completely free to you. And it doesn't cost you anything more to use them.
Nope.
And they will take care of a lot of the work for you.
A lot of the stress will go away.
Yes.
And also don't forget Lost Princess Apparel for all of your theme park outfits.
Yes.
LostPrincessApparel.com.
Hopefully a new product will be coming out here in the next couple weeks.
We're working on a new product. Yes.
So hopefully we'll have that here very soon.
Yeah. So check that out.
Yep. So I guess that's it for us this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you. Our second show did better downloads than the first show, so the show is growing, which is a good thing. So this is the third official podcast show. So I'll let Michele log us off.
And again, like Scott had said, we really appreciate you all. We could not do what we do if not for you. And we hope you have a magical week ahead, and we will see you real soon.
Our trip around the Magic Kingdom is almost complete. I can't thank you enough for spending part of your day with me. And I hope you've enjoyed your journey as much as I've appreciated being a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please gather your belongings. Watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
On behalf of our entire flight crew, Thanks for soaring with us.
Now I will raise the safety bar, and a ghost will follow you home.